I have one wife, and I love her very much. We have two daughters, and we have a happy family. My wife will probably kill me after this. I did that just to show you the power of gestures, how body language and hand gestures can greatly affect our speech. Communication is either verbal or non-verbal. Gestures are examples of non-verbal communication. Hand gestures support and reinforce our speech. Body language research found that gestures increase the value of our spoken messages by more than 65%, and that audiences are more easily persuaded by what they see rather than what they hear. What are the different kinds of gestures? Do you know the most effective ones and the gestures that you should be avoiding? If you do, please watch till the end of this video. You can support this channel by clicking the word subscribe and the bell icon below. After that, kindly click the like button too. If you don't like this video, you can click the unlike button. But please do it twice just to make sure. Friends, join me as we learn about hand gestures to improve our public speaking skills. Adolf Hitler is one of the best orators in history. I have watched some of his recorded speeches, and while I could not understand a word that he said in German, his hand gestures, coupled with his powerful voice and facial expressions, moved me. The charisma is hypnotizing, bombastic. In contrast, Barack Obama's speeches are more friendly, yet inspiring, equally persuasive and effective with his use of proper hand gestures. All of us are engaged in public speaking. If you are a teacher and you lecture or discuss anything in your class, online or offline, you are engaged in public speaking. If you're a student and you are asked to recite or report in class, that is public speaking. You're a priest, minister, pastor, or imam, and you deliver your homily, sermon, or word. That is public speaking. You're a politician, a celebrity, and you are interviewed by the media. That is public speaking. In the article Gestures, Your Body Speaks, published by the Toastmaster International in 2011, the 4 types of gestures were discussed. Thus, descriptive, emphatic, prompting, and suggestive. Descriptive gestures clarify or enhance a verbal message. Examples are big, small, numbers 1, 2, or 3. On the other hand, emphatic gestures underscore what is being said. They indicate conviction, like a clenched fist, which may mean anger or determination. In contrast, prompting gestures evoke a desired response from the audience. If you want your listeners to raise their hands or applaud, you will enhance the response by doing it yourself. You're a priest, pastor, minister, or imam? Do this. Look at the skies and raise your hands and receive God's mercy and blessings. Lastly, suggestive gestures are symbols of ideas or emotions. Some examples are open palms, which suggests openness. V sign for peace or Marcos. L sign for laban or fight, which was used by the opposition in the 1986 snap elections and EDSA revolution in the Philippines. And how do we use the different types of gestures effectively? I have 3 tips for our hand gestures to be effective. First, every gesture that you make should be purposeful and reflective of your words. They should not be contradictory to what is being said. When our hand gestures are wedded to our words, we will strengthen the impact of our speech even if the audience doesn't consciously notice them. Second, your gestures should be executed lively and should look convincing. Every gesture should be a total body movement that starts from the shoulder, never from the elbow. Move your entire arm outward from your body freely and easily. Keep your wrist and fingers supple rather than stiff and tense. This creates gestures that are powerful and likely to significantly boost the impact of your key ideas. And third, be mindful of and always use good hand gestures while avoiding those that are bad. Here are some examples of good hand gestures. Open hands or arms. This shows openness or honesty. Hand on heart. This shows sincerity. You and me. In the online world, when you point to the webcam and then back to you, it creates a link between you and your audience. It is a way of casting a virtual thread of connection to the people at the other end. On the other hand, these are some examples of bad gestures that you should avoid. Crossed arms. This is a defensive pose, a closed body language that makes you look weak. Pointing. This can mean scolding or overbearing. Tyrannical even. Point with your thumb instead, like this. Hands on hips. Avoid putting your hands here, on your hips, because this signals that you are being condescending, overbearing, or acting like a parent. Let your words carry their own authority and leave this gesture to kindergarten teachers. A warning though on the use of hand gestures. While hand gestures are powerful for comprehension, charisma, and fluency, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Before your speech, record yourself and watch yourself speaking to see where you naturally add movements. If you feel unnatural doing a particular hand gesture, do not do it. And how many gestures should we be using in our speech? In one study, it was discovered that the best TEDx speakers average around 26 gestures per minute. So, in a 10-minute talk, we should be executing around 260 gestures. Let's look at some speakers and evaluate how they incorporate hand gestures in their speeches. A few weeks ago, I met a pastor online. He asked me to evaluate one of his talks or preachings. He is a seasoned preacher, and I told him that he can still improve on some aspects of his public speaking skills. Indeed, preaching is one of the highest forms of public speaking. Aside from inspiring the faithful, they are critical because they involve souls. Sometimes, they spell the difference between salvation and eternal damnation. Heavy responsibility. First, let's look at Pastor Jeff Eliscupidez, one of the pastors at Victory Fort. He delivered the word or the preaching last November 13, 2021 online. I provided a link in the description of this video in case you want to watch the entire video. Pastor Jeff used two external HD cameras and talked for 34 minutes and 57 seconds. If the average is 26 gestures per minute, he should have used around 910 gestures. Well, he definitely used more than 26 hand gestures per minute. Second, there is this Catholic priest, Reverend Father Joseph Fidel Roura, who is an online sensation because of his amazing sermons or homilies. He has a YouTube channel, The Three Nails and a Crown. He talks in the vernacular, in Tagalog, so he really connects with his audience. On August 29, 2021, he delivered the sermon during an online mass for 16 minutes. In this particular occasion, he was holding a microphone, so he could not use both of his hands simultaneously to do hand gestures. He was averaging less than 26 gestures per minute, but he was able to deliver a decent amount of hand gestures, enough to support his homily. Third, for our Muslim brothers and sisters, we have Dr. Mufti Menk. He also has a YouTube channel with 2.7 million subscribers. On October 1, 2021, he preached for 30 minutes on how to give up bad habits. He used more than the average 26 hand gestures per minute in this talk. Compare them to a younger preacher whom I watched online. This preacher talked for 31 minutes, but he had only around 40 hand gestures. Notably, many of these are meaningless hand movements which did not support the content of his speech. His 40 hand gestures include 1 nose picking and 2 hair fixings. Recently, various presidential aspirants had announced their candidacy, namely Senator Ping Lacson, Manila Mayor ISKO Moreno, Vice President LENI Robredo, former Senator Bongbong Marcos, Senator Manny Pacquiao, Labor Leader Leody de Guzman, and Senator Bongo. In his announcement, Senator Ping Lacson talked for 5 minutes and 40 seconds. In the course of his speech, he was able to use around 30 hand gestures. Manila Mayor ISKO Moreno DOMAGOSO had a longer speech. He read it for 29 minutes and 47 seconds. Can you guess how many hand gestures he used? 5. He only used 5 hand gestures. For Vice President LENI Robredo, who delivered her speech for 15 minutes and 20 seconds, she had no hand gestures. None. She did wave her hand after her speech, but that is not counted. On the part of former Senator Bongbong Marcos, he read his speech for 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Can you also guess how many hand gestures he used? Right, none. He did not use any hand gestures. For Senator Manny Pacquiao, he delivered his speech for 14 minutes and 55 seconds. Throughout his speech, he was able to use 5 hand gestures. Labor Leader Leody de Guzman delivered the short speech when he filed his certificate of candidacy at the Commission on Elections. He talked for 3 minutes and 56 seconds. He had no hand gestures. And last but not the least, we have Senator Bongo. He was interviewed before he filed his certificate of candidacy at the Commission on Elections. He talked for 3 minutes and 54 seconds. He used 3 hand gestures. Compare them to former US President Barack Obama. During his acceptance speech in 2012, he delivered a speech before the Democratic National Convention for 38 minutes. He used a lot of powerful hand gestures, definitely more than 26 per minute. Look at the spontaneous reactions of some of the people in attendance at that time. He connected well with his audience. Remember, stage presence is not pure talent. It is a learned skill. There are no boring speeches, only boring speakers. Therefore, as with any other skills, public speaking can be learned and mastered through constant practice. And this is it, friends. We just started a series on public speaking matters because public speaking matters. Do you have any favorite hand gestures that you use when you are speaking? Do you consciously do them or they just come naturally to you? I would love to know your thoughts. So please share your ideas, if any, in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, kindly click like and subscribe to my channel. You may want to click the bell icon too so that you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. Please feel free to share this to your friends. This is your Monday Habit, the Man's World. Thank you, keep safe, and Godspeed, everyone. Hand gestures support and reinforce our speech. And that audiences are more easily persuaded by what? And that audiences are more easily persuaded by what they see rather than what they think. You may support this channel by clicking subscribe, and after that, kindly click the like button. Adolf Hitler is one of the best orators in history. I have watched some of his recorded. You're a priest, pastor, minister, or imam? Do this. You're a priest, pastor. You're a priest, pastor. Look at the skies. Look at the skies and raise your hands. Look at the skies and raise your hands and receive God's blessings and mercy. V sign for peace or Marcos. L sign for laban or fight, which was used by the opposition during the 1986. They should not be contradictory. Move your entire arm outward from your body. Open arms or hands. This shows honesty. Openness. Hand on heart. This shows hand on heart. This shows when you point to the webcam and then back to you, it creates a link between crossed arms. This is the hands on the hips. Avoid putting your hands here on your hips because